Thanks for tuning in to this episode of I Have Something to Say, where subject matter experts are unafraid and unapologetic about sharing their perspectives regarding issues that impact our lives. They speak up because basically they give a shit. So if you're tired of canned answers and want to finally hear real people cut through the BS and talk about real issues, this is the podcast for you. I'm your host, Sami Heyman Marrero from Urbender, and behind our mixer is our producer, Chris Majoka from UdoU. Hi, everyone, and welcome. And I am so happy to have invited my guest of today, Patrick Meniboon from Meniboon LLC. Hi, Patrick. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Great. And Patrick and I met about a month and a half ago on a call with an entrepreneurship program, a business growth hub for BIPOC entrepreneurs that's taking place in the southeast of the U.S., spearheaded by Georgia Tech and the MBDA and a whole bunch of other organizations, and our girlfriend, Lakeisha, who is the owner of Phrenology. And so it's just a whole bunch of entrepreneurs, right? It's like a jam session between different entrepreneurs in the Southeast that we hop on to these connection sessions anyway. And that's the context in which we met, and we kind of hit it off and then scheduled a 1 hour meeting that took like almost 2 hours. We couldn't get off the phone, and
It was like, is this thing going to end or what?
Yes, exactly. It's like, do you have anything to do? Right? We were on the Zoom call that took forever, but it was great. And so we kind of confirmed, right? How we kind of think, in the same fashion, and also that we're passionate about our own respective lanes.
Correct.
And how they coincide. And I was just fascinated by your story, and I know that you encouraged me to tell mine, so it was great. We were just having like a virtual love fest, and it was fantastic.
That was what it was.
Yes,
that was
totally.
exactly
And
what it
so
was.
thank you, my friend. I'm so excited that you said yes to come on. I have
Come
something
on.
to say, because you have a lot to say. I mean,
I do have a lot to say, and there was no way I could not be here. I've been looking forward to this today.
yes, that's awesome. Well, welcome. And listen, let's start with the be unmesswithable. You know that whole,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. You caught my eye with that one the first time, and so just let's get that out of the way.
let's just get that out of the way.
Go ahead.
Okay, be unmesswithable. The it essentially started from the point where, for most of my life, well, I've been a guy who stuttered for most of my life. My mom said that she first observed that I stuttered at age 8, and I'm like, what? Okay, what happened from age 7 to age 8? What transpired? What some kind of magic thing happened that?
Mhm.
But the problem with stuttering, like any other insecurity, and 100%, 100% of everybody has some kind of insecurity, and the master insecurity, or the big count of all insecurity is, I am not enough.
I'm not enough.
Yes, and it shows up in every aspect of our life. And in my case, for the first 12 years of my life, it was great. I forgot that I stuttered because my mom was around. My mom was my alarm clock to go to school in the morning. My mom used to go around to her friends and try to even find me talk to her friends. Hey, can my son date your girlfriend? I mean, your daughter?
Yeah.
My mom used to go find me girlfriend. But then around the age of 13, 14, every excitement in my life came to an end.
Hmm.
My mom had to leave Liberia, where I'm, from, originally, and she had to escape to the United States because of the whole political tension and politics mixed with tribe, which is just one of those bunch of mess that we find ourselves in, where we are all tied to a bunch of labels, and
Yeah.
we forget that behind those things are human beings.
Yeah.
And, and by the time my mom left, I was like, oh, I started, I became self aware.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the beginning of the downhill. My entire life, I allowed it to be defined by stutter.
Mm-hmm.
The kind of people I made friends with, the kind
Wow.
of relationships I kept,
Mm-hmm.
the, the how I took the kind of, as a matter of fact, even you know, getting into college, my
Yeah.
first college course was because I didn't want to take on a course that would make me to talk. So I wanted to
Wow.
I wanted to become an accountant.
Mm.
That's what I taught.
Yeah.
And so all those things I'm saying, our insecurity makes us mess with people.
Yes. Yeah. Messwithable. Yes, exactly. That people can
Yeah,
mess with you because you're
yes,
insecure. Yes. Uh-huh.
correct. People start to mess with you because they know how to turn on your buttons.
Yeah.
And then I get to the point where I make a decision. It is almost fast forward a lot of years. I get to the point where I made a decision like, I'm, I've had enough of worrying about whether people are laughing at me for my stuttering, or everybody wanted to become a speech therapist. Everybody you run into would be like, oh, can you just
Y-
slow down
Yeah.
your speech?
Yeah. Oh,
Take a deep. Everybody wants to finish your voice.
yeah.
And I just got to the point. I'm like, let somebody else worry about it. And that decision marked the beginning of my transformation to becoming unmessed with it, where
Yeah.
I started to master myself,
Yeah.
where I started to master my emotions. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's where it is. When you
Yeah.
master yourself, you are on your way to becoming unmessed with it.
That's fantastic. I love it. And that's where you became the courage hacker. That's it. That's
That-
it.
that's essentially it. That's essentially it,
When
because
you when you reach that level of mastery,
eh, exactly.
yeah.
I normally say there are three. I need to fix that. There are, there are three manifestations of courage.
Mm-hmm.
The very first one is courage happens to you.
Hmm. How's that?
You see, I got your
Yeah.
attention.
Courage happens to you. Why? Because you have to decide, do I do it?
Oh, look at you. That's exactly it. You have to decide whether you want to be a hero or you want to be a zero.
Oh, wow. Hero or zero.
So,
I
so basically, courage happens to you. The very next level, courage happens for you. I will
okay.
explain that. And when you get to the point where courage happens through you, then you know you are mastering something. So when courage happens to you, hey, there's this mom, she's minding her business, taking care of the home, cooking, cleaning, and her little kid runs into the road,
Mhm.
and she sees that this big truck is coming down the hill, and the kid is running in the road behind a little ball. That
Mhm.
roll,
Mhm.
in a very short space of time, courage takes a lot out of you.
Yeah.
It's happening to you. You will either become a hero, or you decide, oh, now what am I going to do? I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah.
That's when you hear people say, how did you do it? Oh,
Right.
it just happened.
It just kicked in. So
It just
so,
kicked in.
yeah.
It's that innate ferocity within us that is just swirling around and wanting to just come out.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it is happening to you, and it is capable of turning you either into a hero, or you just say, "Gosh, I wish I can replay this and
And do it
do it
again.
differently."
Exactly. So it's that exercising of the courage. Yeah. Got
Correct.
it. Okay.
Now, when courage happens for you, you play around, you think you're all confident, you big boy, you know how to talk to the chicks, and you got your own skills and things, and then you realize, oh, your confidence cannot take you so far. That when then courage say, I got you, I got you. That's when courage carries you,
Hmm.
because you initially dabble into courage, but you thought you got confidence, you got self esteem. That's the reason why I do not worry about self belief, because self belief will let you down every time. But courage will carry you.
Oh, so self-belief will let you down every
Correct.
time.
Because okay, let me ask you a question. Can you remember when your self belief was okay? Let's say right on a scale from 1 to 10. When your
Yeah.
when the self belief was 10 the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a moving target. It fluctuates like some kind of
Yeah,
feather
like
in
the
the
stock
wind.
exchange. Yeah, like the stock exchange.
Oh, you just invoke another side of my. I love to trade. That
Oh,
whole
really? I
concept of
didn't
trade,
know that.
bunch of forex. So, and that's exactly what self belief is. It's very volatile.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
I tell you something you don't like, you say, "Hey, I don't care. I won't see you again."
Yeah.
But if somebody like your husband say almost the same thing, your entire self belief go from a 10 to a 2.
Right, right. So it's this concept of self-belief and self-reliance and self-confidence
And
is,
self,
yes, it's really, yeah, because it fluctuates. I get it. Yes.
if it fluctuates, is a moving target, you can't catch it.
Exactly. And there are too many variables that can
Too
affect
many
it.
variables.
Yeah. Yeah.
Too many variables. And we human beings are the only create are the only creature in God's wonderful creation who can create a state of flight and fight or freeze, like something happened 20 years ago, we can recreate it today.
Right, right. So fight, flight, or freeze. Yes. Uh-huh. Yeah.
We human beings are the only people who can do that. And
Yeah.
when you tie that variable to self-belief,
Yeah.
it is possible that we can bounce up in the morning. We can wake up from bed in the morning and make ourselves feel horrible.
Yes. Right. I know, yeah. So then okay. So then so this I'm assuming, but I want to hear how you grew in this space of building courage and
Correct.
becoming like a I mean, you're a speaker. This is your jam. I know that you're like a high tech guru and all that cybersecurity stuff, and all that, but no, this is your thing, right? This is your passion. This is where you're at. This is where you're headed. And I know that you have like an entire platform designed because I saw it and I love it. But this concept of the courage hacker and building courage and mastering courage, it's
Correct.
almost like an exercise in building that muscle, no, in
It
really.
is. It is. We were. I heard, and I'm still trying to figure out if that is really true. But I learned that we were born with only two fears: loud noise and being afraid to fall.
Oh, really? Two fears. Okay, loud
Two
noises.
fears:
Uh-huh.
being afraid to fall.
Uh-huh.
Every other fear and insecurity we acquire along the way. When,
Mm.
hey, Uncle Ben said, do not, do not cross the street.
Right.
And we like a magnet. So let's just say this is a magnet. We took the magnet, the clean magnet, and put it in the sand, and it stuck to a lot of things.
Yeah.
It stuck to a lot of things that were not yours, that were not mine. But we took on the fear and insecurities of a lot of people, our parents, our teachers,
Mm.
our coaches, when people even told us you are not even good enough. So I will
Mm.
tell you how this whole passion for speaking, when when I started to when I went down that dark path of my speaking, I
Mhm.
was in the ninth grade, and in the ninth grade back in Liberia, you're going from ninth grade to 10th grade. That's high school territory. You go into high school,
Yeah.
and I graded at the top of my class.
Ooh. Look
It
at
was exciting. It
me
was
too. Me
exciting.
too. If we're showing off, if we're me too.
you you graded at the top of your class. Oh, I am not surprised at all. I can see that sassy. He
Oh,
gave me her speech. So I I graduated at the top of my class. Is that, oh yeah, I'm excited. I'm proud of myself. My mom had just left. This is one of the biggest moments in my life. And then they said, oh, you have to speak. Speak. Yeah, you got the class valedictorian. Valedictorian, that's a big word. I don't even know what that is.
yeah.
And then, no, I did not go to my own ninth grade graduation.
Wow. But that I didn't go to mine either. So yeah.
What?
Yeah. We have more things. I'm just realizing as we're going. Yeah.
Wow.
I decided not to go. Yeah. So yeah. Cause yeah, for another reason.
Yeah, I want to hear it. I want to hear it. Why?
Well, because we were tied. So it was me and this other girl, Maria Janet Cruz. And so then I just didn't go. I said, let her have the thing. Yeah. And I didn't even go to the high school graduation at all. I didn't go to my high
Yeah,
school graduation. But anyway, yeah.
that is.
Yeah. But
You
go
tell me.
on. But I mean, I'm just marveled at how,
Yeah.
high school, right? That, yeah, go ahead.
And I'm like, no, I skipped my own, graduation. I did not want to be embarrassed
Hmm.
because that's what I told myself. I told
Yeah.
myself people will laugh at me. This is
Hmm.
the last memory people will have of you of the ninth grade. You were this popular kid. Our own ego.
Yeah.
We have created this image of ourselves. You're this popular kid. People will lose respect for you, and I didn't go. And to this day, I'll be honest with you, I still regret.
Hmm.
The, the problem though, when we take when we take those paths and not confront our insecurity,
Yeah.
it goes ahead and sits there and just waits for us.
Oh,
And
and that's
that
what
is exactly
happened.
what happened.
Wow.
When in high school, I graduated at the top of my class again.
Mm.
And this is the thing that's funny is when you give yourself permission to skip something once, it becomes easier.
Mm.
the mind would say, yeah, we have done it before, so why not
Yeah.
do it again?
Yeah.
And again, I wanted to skip my high school graduation this time.
Hmm.
But my school principal said, no, 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 you going to show up. And if it was not because of her, I will have another regret. The thing about regret is it does not come with an expiration date. That's the reason why
Ooh.
we need to avoid it.
Oh my God. That's like, wow. You're right.
And that's it was that drive within me to stand up to this thing, to
Yeah.
stand up to this bully that was just terrorizing me, or that I allowed to
Yeah.
terrorize me.
Surprise you. Yeah.
And I went and took on the into the biggest and toughest industry in the world, which is speaking, public speaking.
Yes. It's just like you got the biggest cojones in creation
That
right now.
that is exactly. I I am going to put the biggest, go
Yes.
down, the biggest and scarier one. Public
Yes.
speaking.
The biggest and
So
scariest thing, exactly,
yeah,
that you thought you had, right? And that's what you're gonna go right down that lane. Why
and
not?
it just turned. It why not?
Yes. Why not? Yeah.
Who made the rules for us?
Right. Yes.
Who is telling us what to think?
Yeah.
Who is so we got to put ourselves in the state that we want. We, it is the state of being who we want.
Yeah.
Who is telling us to think what we should be thinking. We are the person we want to be. The third one is how we feel.
Mm-hmm.
The, it would be being, think, feel, and do. All
Mm.
those four pillars are all tied together.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you got to do it.
Yeah.
And I came close to going to the Toastmaster World Championship of Public Speaking in 2015. And that moment made me to know, dude, you are closer to being unmesswithable than you think.
Yes, totally. And actually, that's where our mutual friend Sholanda, I think that's where you guys met, right?
We met in Toastmaster. Okay, I will tell you, okay, we show up for this Toastmaster contest. The very first thing I saw, I'm like, oh, she's nicely dressed. Whoa, impressive. Then she starts to speak. I'm like, holy moly, she's good. She's good. And when you, when you, by the time you see people who have command of their emotions and their message, you're like, hmm, I am, I am in for a long night.
Yeah, I
and
know. I
it
love
was,
her. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right after that, I'm like, hey, I want to get to know you.
Yeah. And you did, and thanks to her, we met too, because I take it she's the one that told you about this thing, right? About the,
She's
yeah,
a
going to
connector.
take. Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Oh,
Yes.
I I just appreciate that she did that.
Yeah.
To even think about your friend.
Yeah.
She's way in Florida. I was in some part of the world. She didn't even know I was in North Carolina.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Well, she's in St. Croix now, but yeah, but she,
yeah, yeah, correct.
yeah, but that's great. So that is fantastic. And so, how was that first speaking engagement for you? Like, what? I mean, that must have been like your brain must have been like going a mile a minute, and yeah,
The thing is, you go. There is a thousand. There are a lot of things going through your head. The very first thing is it does not matter who you are, whether you've been speaking professionally for a month or 50 years, there is
Right.
still the butterfly. So picture
Yeah.
the little bit of the butterfly, then the insecurity of the stuttering come in. Hey man, do you still think you want to be doing this?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I really enjoy this. That's my safe space,
Yeah.
being on stage.
Yeah.
But there is just a lot of emotions, a little bit of, you're on top of the world because you enjoy doing it, but you are a little afraid,
Yeah.
and the butterfly just in there, and you you even telling yourself, I think you made a mistake to show up.
No.
Uh, but but then but then there is this very short space in time when you start speaking and you see the person across from you, like you now,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, all
Yeah.
right, I'm going to focus on you.
Yeah.
And I really, the primary reason why I do this is because I normally say, if you're not telling your story, you're holding up the line.
Ooh.
Because there is somebody that is standing at the street corner.
Yeah.
There's somebody that is right, you know there's somebody that is just waiting for your inspiration to get off the bench from
Yeah.
being a spectator in your own life.
Mm.
That person is just waiting for your story
Yeah.
to get inspired. And
Yeah.
you don't have to be the most proficient at whatever it is. You are the closest person to them. You are the most valuable person to them.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. Wow. Talk about perspective. Yeah. And
Yeah,
you're so right. It's like so it really that really speaks to the value that lived experiences have, right? That and
correct.
about yours that every experience there's value in it. In every single person there's value and what they have to contribute because it might if it's not similar to what you've gone through there's someone out there that can be inspired that you can inspire and can be inspired by so you have value right to
Correct.
someone out there even if it's just one person you have value to
Yes.
that person yeah
Speaking to one or the 1 million doesn't matter because all you need, all there is just one person that is waiting to hear your message to start on their own path in life.
yeah
And in my case, I got to the point where I'm like, all right, it can be embarrassing sometimes. I can't even call my own name sometimes. Okay, when you want to pronounce Meniboon,
yeah
sometimes it doesn't flow, but
yeah.
who cares?
I love it yeah
It is
yeah
there is some little kid out there who has their own. It's not stuttering, but their own little version of something
yeah
that is still holding them back. And
yeah
every day comes and go. Every day comes and go. There's this little gap. They're just looking for somebody to say, if this person can do it. I mean, public speaking, 4 out of every 5 person on the face of the earth is afraid of public speaking. What on earth am I doing it?
right
But the question again is, who makes the rules?
Yeah, who makes the rules? Yeah. And yeah, totally. And all goes back to that initial fear or that initial aspect of this whole thing is that I'm not good enough, right? But then who
Correct.
even makes that rule? Who's saying
Who,
that you're not good? Like
who,
who yeah, who told you that, right? And so
who, who told you that?
Yeah.
Is pretty much because, like, I mean, somebody at some point in time just told us to keep quiet when we're born. Babies, little kids, babies have the most amazing self confidence.
They're fearless. They're born with
Yes,
courage. Yes.
exactly.
You're born with courage and it gets stripped from you, right?
The- the- it doesn't matter who you can be president of the world, the baby sees you. I am in charge. But, but right at some point in time, somebody tell them, hey, keep quiet, stop talking, or you too loud, or start running. Somebody start to tell us to restrict a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little
Yeah.
bit of that, a little bit of that. Then that it's like somebody along the way told us this is the rule,
Right. And not to be you.
not to be you.
They start messing with you.
The, the make us mess with you.
Yeah.
You, you, you are a bad influence. Anytime, well,
Listen.
when I talk to you, when I talk to you, I just get on fire.
Yeah, listen. You and I, bro, we're gonna get into so much trouble. I just know it. We just met what, 6 weeks ago?
And nobody will believe them, okay?
No, 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 no. This is something else. Yeah, we're gonna get into a lot of trouble. I just know it. I just know it. You know when you feel it? Yeah. I actually told Shalonda.
That is return on energy now. It's return on energy, you see?
Yeah, the energy's there. I told Shalonda, and I said, "Oh my God, Meniboon, wait, I don't know how or what, but I know we're gonna land on something big, and it's gonna be so much fun, and we're gonna tear shit up. We're gonna, because I know your game. I know it. I just know, because you've
You
got
do.
courage. Because you have courage. You're the courage hacker. What?
But let me just tell you a little bit about me that you probably don't know. I honestly do not know when I make decisions from self belief or confidence anymore.
Mm,
It just goes to the next level where courage happens through you.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Honestly, to be really honest with you, I don't remember the last time where I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this because I feel confident in myself, or it's like that little hurricane within you, just like, okay, let's do it,
Yeah,
all right, let's go.
yeah, yeah, yeah. What a way to live, right? Isn't that awesome? So it's like, so you're like a little kid, basically.
Somebody just said that. Oh, look at you.
I feel like a little kid too. I look ridiculous sometimes because I get
Yeah.
excited about things and I'm like, "Oh, let's do it." It's like that curiosity and that excitement and I get about the butterflies. I'm just going through an experience now of like opportunities and stuff and I'm like, I've been doing this stuff for so many years now and it's exciting to feel that nervous energy, right? That nervous excitement and the butterflies in your belly, yeah? Because you're like, "Wow."
The problem with it though is you you know one of the problems that I run into is I become a little impulsive.
Impulsive, yes. But that's when you surround yourself by people like Shalonda to reel you back in. That's why
It's
she's
it is
partnering with me.
it is
She's
it
like
is
my other side of the brain, right? She's like,
it is funny you said that because that's exactly why I love this group that we're putting together.
yeah,
Because people from different walks of life, people like me who is strategic and ideation and activation, but we have the problem with impulsiveness.
yeah,
And You got all of these 1,000 million ideas going on, and you need somebody to say, look, dude, cut that crap. Stay
Yeah.
focused.
Yes. Or
Of
pause and
course.
really think it through and plan it out, because you
Correct.
kind of know where you're going, but it's like you might misstep here if you don't just take a moment and think it through.
You,
Take a
well, you're talking about thinking through. I normally finish thinking in my head and think everybody else on me.
exactly. I do the same thing. It's like it comes to my brain and I'm like, "Oh yeah, we can do this," but I forget about the process and about the steps to get there, right? And so there's value in surrounding yourself with people like that,
That's
that can really contribute that. So listen, so I mean, I could talk to you for days, but I want to get some quick takeaways, before we close. And it would be, what I know that you said that it just happens to you, right? This courage thing. But what can people do to exercise that courage muscle and tap into that inner child that's unafraid and that oblivious to people's opinions and to all of these external, external judgment dump that we
correct.
get, since we're children, that make us vulnerable, that make us think we're not enough, that make us lose that ability to just be courageous and just do and just be.
It is. That's a very great question. One of the things that I've learned, and that's the perspective from which I speak. I don't tell people, "Hey, I am the authority on this.
Yeah.
I am the big dog." I said, "I am sharing with you my experience. I
Right.
sharing with you what I've learned, and we
Yeah.
And so the thing that I've learned is that we have to really get to know ourselves, self mastery. What
Mhm.
do you really want? And one of the easiest ways that I've learned is to say, won't it be wonderful if, gosh, I've always wanted to do this. I've
Mm.
always wanted to try this. It could be speaking to something in you. So, like me, I've always knew that I wanted to be on stage. I just
Mhm.
didn't know how. But
Yeah.
I could not say it because stuttering and on stage. So it's just trying to figure out that little one thing you know deep within you that's you.
Yeah. Yeah. And so again, it goes back to self mastery, to really getting to know yourself first, and
Correct.
then just everything else will fall into place and nothing will affect you. Then that's how you're unmesswithable too. Yeah.
You got to become master of your emotions. Like people say, dude, why are you not getting mad about that? I'm like, why? I
Or like
control
I
my
just did
emotions.
before this call, like I just did before this. uh, yeah, I have some work to do on that. On that, yeah.
So the very first thing is take time, find out what do you really want? What brings you fulfillment? For me, when I'm on stage, it's my sweet spot.
Mhm.
And how, do not worry about the how. Just figure out the what.
The
Because
what?
in the end, that's the fulfillment.
Yeah, which is the why, right? The why is so you can
Why?
live, so you can fulfill that want and that need that's very, yeah, that's within you. Yeah. So the why, we know what it is. Yeah. So it's the what.
That's the reason why I ask people, who are you? Because the thing that I found out myself is I'm naturally a coach or teacher,
Yeah.
and that's where my inspiration comes from. To pretty much share, to teach. Instead of going to be in a classroom on a stage, don't worry about it how.
Yeah.
Just figure out who are you deep within, and that's when your courage starts to say, "Hey, let's go for it.
Yeah.
Let's be unmesswithable."
Great. Listen, Meniboon, this was great.
I like that. You hooked me up
Yes,
like that.
yes, totally. This was great. This is not going to be the first time we have one of these chats. I think I want to get Chris on this conversation the next time. It's just so easy. It's so connected. It's so timely, and it's just so you're just awesome. Just all around. I'm just
Because I got something to say.
yeah, 'cause I know you have something to say. I know. That's why I'm like, you need to come on, So I really appreciate you. I learned a
Thank you.
lot, just with this, this time and this space that we've shared together. And I can't wait. I really can't wait to meet you in person someday and to go see
Oh,
one of your presentations, you
that would be
know.
wonderful.
Maybe I could go backstage where you're like, like up there, with Oprah and stuff. and uh and anyway, I'm just excited. I know what you're planning out, and I'm excited. So
Mhm.
yeah, so just let's do this again, and I know that we're going to talk offline also.
Anytime,
Yes,
anytime, anytime.
I'm
I'm
a
ready.
fan, and I'm here to support you, and I'm excited. Thank you so much for making time to do this today. Okay.
I appreciate you.
Okay, sounds great. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye bye.
This concludes this episode of I Have Something to Say. We want to thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to tell your friends about us. We're on Spotify and iTunes as well. There's more to come next week. And remember, if you have something to say, it's time to speak up.